is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Jeremy Lee in the building and every guest that you ever needed. Sports cards after hours keep the hobby heated. Updates, hobby talk like you never seen it. Sports cards live and none could ever beat it. Sports cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to an episode of REA Live, the Summer 2025 Catalog Auction live stream on August 13th, 2025. My name is Jeremy Lee. I'm excited for this episode, some great items, and we are going to get right into it. And we are going to bring on Mr. Brian, and we have a special guest, Finnegan Dwyer. Here they come. Brian and Finnegan Dwyer, welcome to the show. Finnegan, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, Finnegan's ready to talk vintage baseball and trading cards, and he's excited.
Good stuff. Well, I'm excited too to have him here, and I'm going to just give a little bit of an upfront warning. We're having some storms here, but Brian, if I ever fade on you, you just let me know that I just say something so I can keep on top of it. But I'm excited. We just came back from the National. I got to take a tour of the items in this auction at your booth at the National. We did a little piece, put it up on YouTube and Instagram. And Brian, that display that you guys had, your main display, it was unbelievable. I found myself drooling all over the place, figuratively speaking. How was the National for you? How was it for REA?
The National was great. I mean, it was overwhelming at times, I think is a fair assessment for anybody that was there. The crowds were really big, really strong. But for us, it was a great show. It's always our best show of the year. Great to see people. Ton of consignments came in, sold a bunch of stuff on the floor through our marketplace. So really a productive, successful, fun National for us.
Good to hear. You mentioned the marketplace. That's something that's somewhat new to REA in the last year or so. Why don't you just give us a bit of an idea as to how the marketplace is functioning? Is it something that you're focusing a lot of resources on? What sort of a priority is it for REA right now, the fixed price marketplace or the fixed price marketplace?
Yeah, so I mean, for us, it's just another tool in the toolbox. Really, we launched it in March. We are promoting it heavily. We're seeing that it's a great resource for sellers who have items that they don't necessarily want to auction, or they want to have an alternative before they go to auction. And buyers love it. I mean, we have sold items ranging from $100 to $600,000 in that marketplace. We're selling items almost every day, multiple items most days. So it's been a really, really strong addition to our repertoire. It's been fun.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I think it's a great tool, actually. Gives you something to browse on the collectrea.com website when there isn't an auction going live. So it's probably good for traffic and to keep people interested. I know it's done that for me. So good stuff.
Yeah. That's where we're, on the traffic point, we're seeing people coming to the website every day. So we're having a lot of auctions, but in those downtimes, there's always something to look at.
Good stuff. Good to hear. Okay. Well, we have a big auction coming up here ending on August the 17th, which is this coming Sunday. And here we have the main item, the main page, the summer 2025 auction, 3,029 lots going off here on Sunday. And I just wanted to give a quick look, an overview to people who are watching us. And if you are watching on Instagram right now, come on over to YouTube, guys. That's where the action is. You can get your comments into the chat, ask some questions of Brian. Let us know if there's items you're looking at bidding on, maybe answer some additional questions on those. But right now you can see right off the top, 4 beautiful cards. I don't need to tell you what they are. You guys know. The second row, some Cracker Jacks. And the third row, the Bronko Nagurski 1935 National Chickle in a PSA 5 holder. What a wonderful card. This wasn't on the program for tonight, Brian, but I'm adding it right now because I love this card and I would love to add a copy. I've wanted one of these for 20 years. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to acquire one of these. And any story behind this particular card? Is it a fresh to the hobby? Where'd this come from?
Yeah, so I mean, it's fresh to the hobby in the sense that it's been in a collection for a while. I mean, it came from an old-time collector who reached out to us, told us that he had the card and that he wanted to sell it. As you said, I mean, these are just gaining steam and popularity. The longer you wait, the higher the price goes up. This one's knocking on the door of $50,000 already with 4 days to go. So really just a good looking example. X is actually a fairly high grade for the Nagurski. I feel like when you see them, they're often 1s or 1.5s or authentics. This one's pretty nice.
Beautiful. I love it. Absolutely. All right. Let's go and move along now. Lot number 1 in the auction. And, Brian, is lot number 1 specifically reserved for one of the showcase sort of items in the auction? Is that how we're running this thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to give lot number 1 to something that you're really proud of, really pumped about. And in this case, the 49 Jackie in an 8.5 kind of hit all those characteristics. It's iconic card, very important Robinson card. 8.5s do not come up all that often. Can't tell you the last time we saw a 9 for sale publicly. So just really something that we're excited to have and very befitting of lot number 1.
Well, the registration is bang on perfect, which is you're not going to see that 100% of the time. That red is deep and bold. The blues are beautiful. The skin tones are perfect. One thing about this card that I've wondered in the past is, well, looking at it right here under his, like what would be, the left armpit almost, there's this little black line. And I did some research into this, or I actually just looked at a few other copies a couple months ago, and that's on all the cards. So if anyone thinks that might be a print defect or something, or something with the surface, it's not. That's present on all the copies, which I was happy about when I was looking at them and considering picking one up for myself. I haven't yet, but it's on my want list, Brian. And this is an absolutely beautiful PSA 8.5, currently at $105,000. Guys, this auction ends 4 days from now on Sunday, the 17th. Another Jackie. We're going to go back-to-back Jackie rookies times 2. This is the 48 Leaf PSA 7. It's got an NBA Eye Appeal sticker on it as well. Who doesn't love this card, Brian? I know I certainly love it. What do you want to tell us about this particular copy?
I mean, this copy is, and the NBA sticker kind of attests to that, one of the strongest 7s we've ever seen. We actually submitted this card raw several years ago. Came up to us at a national convention. We submitted it on site. We sold it then. The buyer that we sold it to is now the consigner in this auction. So just a very strong card. I like the toning. I like the centering. I like the registration, the image quality. It's just got everything going for it.
If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to get Finnegan's opinion on which Jackie Robinson he prefers, the 48 Leaf or the 49 Bowman. Mr. Finnegan Dwyer, do you have any comments? I know he can't talk, Brian, but what about you? Do you have a preference between the two?
I just think the Leaf is iconic. I mean, I love them both. I'd be happy to have either one of them in my collection. Both of the examples in this auction are dynamite. The Leaf to me is the iconic Jackie Robinson rookie card.
It's what a wonderful pair leading off. Larry Gitlin, welcome to the show. Yes, gigantic auction to browse. I love doing it myself. And sometimes I struggle when I'm looking at it, the catalog auction, Brian, whether I want to just scroll through lot by lot, page of 100 by page of 100, or search by player. Usually I search through and then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to search right for the players I want to look for, and I see what I find. 90s auctions. Josh likes the Nagurski. I know he's looking for one of those. Vintage card collector. Hi, Brian. What segment of the card market do you think has the largest potential for growth in the next few years? That's a fun question, Brian. You want to tackle that one?
Yeah, that is a fun question. I mean, let me think about that for a sec. I think that the card market is growing every day. And vintage, if you look at how it's gone over the last several years, it's been a very strong area. I do still think that there's some room to run in classic Hall of Fame cards and mid-grade. Like I always come back to the 51 Bowman Maze card. That's a card that's just a great card. I still think today in a lot of grades, it's undervalued. So I think that those blue chip, top tier Hall of Famers in very collectible mid-grade, good eye appeal. Don't buy slider 5, slider 6s, but good eye appeal cards like that, I still think are going to be a good spot looking back in 3-5 years.
Thanks for the question, vintage card collector. I had the pleasure of meeting at the National. All right, let's move along. The next card up is the 1914 Cracker Jack Honus Wagner, how he's well known, SGC 5. Now, Brian, I recently acquired a 14 Cracker Jack myself, so I find myself looking at them closer than ever. And the Honus Wagner is a beautiful card. I love the side profile portrait image here. Have you had this opportunity to broker a lot of these in your history? And how do you approach the difference between the 14s and the 15s, the 1914s and the 1915s?
So we sell a ton of Cracker Jacks, and we have over the years. We've been fortunate to bring a lot of fresh collection of Cracker Jacks to market. What we don't see a lot of are 14 Cracker Jacks and 5 or better. And if anybody has followed Cracker Jacks, you know, they often show up in low grade. They often show up with a number of condition issues. This card right here is beautiful. I think, to your point, the Wagner has always been one of my favorite images from the set. This is a pretty good looking example.
Look right there, Hans Wagner. Yeah, these are awesome. I like the 14s better for the simple reason that the backs are right side up. With the 15s, they swapped it, but the 15s are great too. It's nothing, no knock against those. It's a beautiful card. This is in really nice shape as well. The color is super bold, strong registration, maybe even perfect. Great looking card right here. All right, let's keep on rolling, Brian Finnegan. We've got a 1925 Exhibits Lou Gehrig rookie SGC 2.5. So, Brian, this predates his Goudey, like standard sized, what we might call a rookie card, by 8 years. What's the story there? And tell us about this piece itself.
Yeah, so Gehrig was actually in a number of exhibits sets during the 1920s, and the 25 and 26 exhibits are very similar in presentation, image. They're only distinguished by color. So this 25 Gehrig is the first Gehrig rookie card, first appearance of Gehrig. Very tough to find. Of all the exhibits that Gehrig appears on, a handful, I mean, I don't know the pops, but a handful comparatively of 25s exist. This 2.5, when we got it in, I was very struck by how nice it is for that grade. I think oftentimes people see a low grade and they assume that it's not going to be that attractive of a card. It's quite the opposite in this case.
Yeah, it is nice. You know, I've come to learn, and just not so much learn, continue to validate that technical grade is only one input into how we assess the desirability of a card. And it's not as hard as you might think to find really beautiful cards in lower grades. So this might be one of those situations. And I see here that this is from his first full season with the Yankees. So that's special and speaks to the rookie card nature of it all.
Absolutely. It has a lot going for it. I mean, just a short time before this card was printed, he was playing at Columbia.
Crazy. All right, let's keep on going here. This one's interesting because these are tough. 1968 Topps, Johnny Bench and Ron Tompkins, but it's all about the Johnny Bench here. Rookie card, PSA 10, Brian. That's an extremely tough grade. Only 17 have been given a PSA 10 for this card. And this is a Hall of Fame rookie. Lots of people want to have the finest Hall of Fame set registry on the PSA set registry. So only 17 people can reach full marks on the Johnny Bench. What do you expect to happen with this card during this auction in terms of bidding competition? Do you think it's going to go to someone on the set registry? Do you think it goes to a 1968 Topps collector? Kind of, what do you think this is going to do?
You know, we're seeing a lot of these types of cards go to Hall of Fame rookie collectors and just Hall of Fame collectors in general. Set building and the set registry is still very popular, and I don't doubt that there'll be a number of set registry contenders in the mix. But, you know, my gut is that the money in the Hall of Fame collecting and the key card collecting is a little bit stronger right now. Only 17 to go around. I think there'll be a lot of competition. Oftentimes people think 68s are easy to get in high grade, but I think the pops tell a different story on this card. So off to a nice start, and I expect it to keep going.
And just as I look at the front of this card, I'm trying to find any flaw, anything, and I don't see anything. The black is beautiful behind the names. The blue, where it says Reds for the team name, is solid and strong. The burlap is all the way to the edges and the corners. The centering appears to be bang on. This might be like a pristine card on the front. Back has some, not perfectly centered, so there's that, but the front of this thing might be as good as I've ever seen.
Yeah, really, really strong example.
All right, we're going to now fast forward about 35 years or so to the 2001 Bowman Chrome Japanese version of the Ichiro Suzuki Gold Refractor by Bowman Chrome. It's a PSA 10, and we are saying it's the refractor out of 99, everybody, and it's a 1 of 1. It's the highest graded copy of all. This is a major piece right here, Brian. REA, I think a lot of people associate REA with vintage. I know you guys have been doing more and more modern lately, but tell us how this card is positioned in the auction and kind of if it might be a bit of a sign of the times for you guys.
Yeah, this is a card that we're really excited about. I mean, like you alluded to, REA's pedigree has always been in the vintage space. We've always prided ourselves on handling modern and vintage and all sports. We're not just a vintage baseball auction house. But when this card came in, it really stopped us in our tracks. We understood immediately the significance of it. Ichiro's rookie card from 2001. This one is very important. The fact that it's a PSA 10, it's the only copy ever graded 10 of this Japanese refractor. In 2001, they issued half the print run in English and half the print run in Japanese, and they were available only as redemptions. And a lot of those, if not all of them, have been accounted for already. So if you want the very best of Ichiro's rookie cards, this one is available for the taking.
And just to be clear, it's out of 99, but the first 50 were in English and the second 50 were in Japanese. This is number 52. Is that your understanding?
Yeah, so 50 copies in English, 49 copies in Japanese.
Okay, so it's even rarer than the English version at 49. Beautiful card, and Ichiro getting a lot of attention lately in the hobby. So I expect this to do very well, Brian. Congrats on having it too. I think it's a card that makes a statement for REA.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, when we got it in, we knew that it was important. We knew its standing in the hobby was going to attract a lot of attention, and it's been good. Every time we have a card like this, it just broadens our reach and bidder base and gets everybody excited to participate.
All right, next up, 1986 Topps Jerry Rice in a PSA 10. I love this card. It's one of those cards where I always try to assess centering on a card like this, because we always try to assess centering, and the borders allow you to do that a little bit easier. It can be a little bit mystical in a way, because the way that these white lines are on the angles, and I don't know if they really match up that well, but in any event, this one looks to be well centered, maybe a slight shift to the right, but beautiful overall, great edges and corners. How are you finding Jerry Rice performing lately as far as versus other Hall of Fame football key rookie cards?
Well, I mean, I think we've seen some of those big 80s rookies, Rice, Montana, Elway, Marino. They've all been going up in the world lately. I think that they're iconic in the football space from that era. A lot of demand for them. And even though the supply is high sometimes, there's just so many collectors lining up to collect them in the very best grades. So you can see by the early bidding, there's been a lot of interest in this Jerry Rice. I suspect it'll keep going over the next 4 days, but just another good classic semi-modern card that we're excited to feature.
Very nice. What's the population on 63? 63 of over 40,000 have received the PSA 10 grade. All right, that's a tough one too. Next up, oh, look at this. 1887 Chicago White Stockings team cabinet card with Cap Anson and John Clarkson. I'll admit it, Brian, I've never seen this before. Tell us about it, please.
Yeah, so this is something that is very classic REA. This is a team composite cabinet where they took portraits of all the members of the Chicago White Stockings, most notably Cap Anson and John Clarkson, who are both Hall of Famers, and they put them into this team display. Stevens Studio is the one that issued it. You can see on the mount their photographer's credit, and it's not too often that you see an example like this. There's probably only a handful of these that are known to exist, and they're not as expensive as you might assume, given their rarity. So it's a great way to get some great 19th century representation without breaking the bank.
The back is really neat, actually. It almost looks like it's etched. I doubt it is, but it's got a neat, very subtle image on it. I like that a lot. What a neat piece. Okay, keeping on rolling. So I remember when we were at the REA booth at the National, and I took a good look at this card because of all the Babe Ruth cards, the Goudeys from the 1930s, this is one that I was it never really struck me. But then I looked at it again, and it's, even though he's 1/4 of the card, I love the image. It's a zoom in on, what is that, 181 or 181 from the regular set?
Yeah, the green Ruth, yep.
The green Ruth, it's a zoom in on that. And I mean, it's a wonderful image. And this particular copy appears to be in really great shape as I just look at it right now. The centering is really nice. Like, when you look at this card, I'm tempted to look at the centering of Babe Ruth alone versus the whole card. Overall, you can see it's shifted a bit to the right, but when you look at Babe Ruth himself, he seems to be almost perfectly centered. How do you look at that?
No, I mean, I agree with you entirely. You know, if you focus on the key to the card, and that's Ruth, undoubtedly, you couldn't really ask for better presentation. I've always thought the 35 Goudey set has been underappreciated, undervalued. And I think that you need to look no further than where the current bidding is at this card in an 8, compared to that 181 Ruth. If that 181 Ruth would come up for auction in an 8, it'd be at hundreds of thousands of dollars. And here you're looking at a fraction of that. So I think it's a great example. I think it's a great SGC 8 copy. And I think somebody will be very happy when they walk away with this one. And the backs are pretty cool too. If you have a set, it makes a nice little puzzle display. So a great underrated set.
Very nice piece right there. All right, we have a 1948 Grover Alexander autographed Hall of Fame exhibits. PSA DNA certified, authentic on the card and the auto. Wow, I've seen these exhibits before, Brian. They're very nice. I had a Babe Ruth myself for a while. They're really nice cards. How do they rank versus other exhibits? And are they a little bit more affordable because they're from 1948 and not from the 20s, compared to the, really contrasting it versus the Gehrig that we saw earlier? How do these fit into the overall world of exhibits?
Yeah, so they're much more affordable because in almost all instances, especially in this set where we already know that these players are Hall of Famers, they're post-career cards. But the 48 baseball greats set is very popular because it's a way to get Ruth and Cobb and Wagner and guys like Grover Alexander all in one place. They were also a very popular medium for autograph collectors, and not all of them are possible. Not all of them lived long enough into the autograph collecting craze, especially on cards. But somebody like Grover Alexander, who signed this, especially in his full name, sometimes you see GC Alexander. This one's pretty special.
Grover Cleveland, very nice, sitting at 1,050. So lots of room and time on that one. Okay, this next card, I managed to pick up a copy for myself at the National, Brian. 1950 Bowman, Jackie Robinson. Mine did not come with an autograph by Jackie Robinson. How tough is it to find an autographed playing days? Well, I guess they're all playing days for him. Jackie Robinson card in general, in ballpoint like this.
Yeah, they do not come up all that often. I mean, we were very privileged to get this one ungraded from an old time collection. We got it graded by PSA. And I would say at the National, if this wasn't the top most viewed item, it was in the top 3. I mean,
Really?
this stopped a lot of people in their tracks. The positioning of the signature, the way it contrasts against the image, the overall condition of the card. Again, we talked about it with the Gehrig. Just because the card's a 2 doesn't mean that it's all trashed and beat up. I mean, this is a very, very presentable example. So nice card. Somebody will be very happy with it.
The card looks good for a 2 to me. The autograph looks great for an 8. I'm not a big fan of autograph grading. I see nothing wrong with this autograph to not give it a 10. They give it an 8. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean,
I have not yet figured out autograph grading myself, so I can't help you there.
Nope, I don't think anyone can help us. All right, but it's a beautiful card. Congratulations to the eventual new owner of this. I know there's a lot of people interested in it now, and you just affirmed that, saying it was a top 3 card people were even looking at. Hello to Kevin Hawthorne. Welcome to the show. Orlando, what's up, buddy? It's great to see you as always. Here's a card that has come onto my radar recently, Brian. I find that, listen, I own the 51 Bowman Mickey Mantle, his one and only true rookie. I don't know that I'll ever own a 52 Topps. The 53 Topps is beautiful too. There's no 54, but you've got 55, there's no 55 either, I don't think, but there's a 56. Is that correct?
From Topps, yeah, he has 54 and 55 Bowman. Yep.
Right. So what I've noticed is the Dan-Dee, the Dan-Dee potato chips card, this one here, as well as the Red Heart, the dog food, the Red Heart dog food card, I think are beautiful. So these are 2 cards that have gained my interest more than ever. And this is recent. This is only in the last couple months. But here we have on auction, enough about me. Here we have at auction an SGC 9 Mickey Mantle 1954 Dan-Dee potato chips card. Absolutely beautiful, with an NBA sticker, one of 3 highest graded. Brian, similar question to some earlier ones I've asked. The Dan-Dee potato chips Mantle, how is it fitting in to the Mickey Mantle landscape? And are more people starting to gain interest in it as I am?
Yeah, so I think it's definitely gaining interest. You know, I think that as card prices rise and as you see 51 and 52 Bowman and Topps escalate in price, and then you see that trickle to 53 and 54 and 55 and so on down the line, people are looking away from the Topps and Bowman issues to see what's out there and how they can get, a player like Mantle represented in their collection. And they just don't come around all that often. The populations on Dan-Dees are very small overall. Red Hearts are available, but not necessarily in high grade. To get a Dan-Dee potato chips Mantle in a 9 is unheard of. And this example is one of only 3 at that level. Very likely never made it into a bag of potato chips. NBA has certified it gold, which means it's probably knocking on the door of a 10. Just a really, really special card that I think we'll look back on in a couple years and say that was a great buy for somebody.
Yeah, I buy into that. I think that, I'm not calling them oddballs. I'm calling them obscure cards. And I think that this is an obscure, just non-mainstream, non-Topps or Bowman mainstream. But look at the image. It's amazing. It's absolutely beautiful. I agree with you on the NBA sticker. Takes it up a notch, as True Card Adventures, Corey says as well. Takes it up another notch as well. Eric Young says the Dan-Dee cards have great imagery. Absolutely. I love it. $25,000 right now for the SGC 9 copy. All right, here's one that's interesting, because how many boxes of this can still be left? This is an extraordinary 1961 post-serial original package of 10 unopened boxes with Mickey Mantle. We're at $4,700 right now. Brian, here's the image of this. I will scroll through some of the other pictures that we have while you tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, so for anyone not familiar, in the early 1960s, post-serial used trading cards as an incentive to sell product, and Mantle was obviously the star of that campaign, that effort. This is a package of 10 miniature cereal boxes from 1961, still in the original wrapping, still intact, featuring Mantle prominently on the back. And there's a great article that was just published the other day online by the guys over at Collect about the origin of this box. It actually came out of an estate sale from somebody that was a prepper. It was in a nuclear bunker in the 1960s. And that's why it really remained in just the incredible condition that it's in, and hadn't been thought of being opened for decades. So really a special piece. Amazing that it survived. I don't recall seeing any other 10 packs with Mantle on them. So this very well could be unique.
I like how on the back here, underneath the cards, it says, don't forget to cut out the baseball trading cards on the Alphabets package in this post-10s assortment. And you're going to cut them out of the main package as well. It's funny to think, but back then people were encouraged to cut these cards out. And now I don't know what we would do. Just leave it right here like this. What a neat piece. It brings a whole other definition to that term. Are you going to eat the gum? Now it's like, are you going to eat the cereal?
Yeah. I had not considered that, but I would encourage anybody that does to film it, because I'd be curious.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Orlando Sod at the National says it's an incredible find. And it's even nice just to see these familiar brands of cereal on here as well. Larry Gitlin says that is a riot and it was never nuked. Nope, not this one. Not this one, Larry. He also enjoyed the beautiful, obscure Dan-Dee potato chips Mickey Mantle. All right, well, that's a neat piece for sure. Sitting at $4,700. Interesting stuff. Unique. All right, here's an O-Pee-Chee pack of hockey cards, 1979 O-Pee-Chee, sealed pack, slabbed by PSA as a mint 9. And this one apparently is a Wayne Gretzky rookie year, or are we saying there's a Gretzky in it? I don't think we're saying there's a Gretzky in it. We're just saying it's a PSA 9 pack from the Wayne Gretzky rookie year. These are awesome, Brian. As you probably know by now, I've told you I collect the unopened hockey packs. I love them. You can't find them from the 60s. It's almost impossible. The O-Pee-Chees from 68 and 69, but 70 forward are a bit easier. This is probably the most desirable of them all because it is the Gretzky rookie year pack. PSA 9 is a strong grade. I believe mine's an 8. We're sitting at $1,350 here. Tell us a bit about your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I mean, we put this on the list for you. It's iconic year. You're right. We're not saying that there's a Gretzky card in here. We're saying that it's possible. This one, really strong condition. The folds are great. The pack's intact. Sometimes you see these with tears or openings, and that's not the case with this one. So unopened is an area that we've seen a lot of movement in, a lot of people coming to over the last several years. And as the price of these rookies, Gretzky included, continue to rise, it drags along the unopened product. And as more and more of it gets opened, it also makes what remains unopened more valuable. So it's a great little segment of the hobby. And this one's just a really good looking example on a 9.
It is very nice. Now, I want to ask you a question. It came up earlier in the chat as well around unopened wax or packs. And the hobby has seen some of this CT scanning come in where some bad actors are looking through the packaging to see what's inside. And people have asked me, well, Jeremy, you have an unopened pack collection. How does that make you feel? I personally don't care. Not that I don't care. I just don't care as much as it applies to my collection. I collect unopened packs for the item that is the pack itself. I don't expect there's a Gretzky rookie in my pack, and I really don't care because I'll probably never open it. But as an auction house, Brian, and I think you have some high value basketball boxes in the auction as well. Do you guys have an approach to consignments that are unopened now, considering that this whole CT scanning thing has become an unfortunate part of our landscape?
Yeah, so I mean, we've really not changed per se the way that we handle unopened. We've always been very cautious, period, about where unopened material comes from. We have a reputation for handling it. We know generally where a lot of this comes from. The stuff that is fresh to the hobby, we're confident in its origin. We're using authenticators like BBCE. I've personally never experienced the CT scanning. I've never utilized it. I don't know even anybody that has. I don't know that it's as commonplace as is made to sound, but I think that a lot of people share your opinion that they're not going to open it. They're collecting it for what it is exactly, and they're content with that. Caution, definitely. But as of yet, we've not found a need to change the way that we approach unopened material.
Yeah, and my thoughts, even for myself, are that it applies to the stuff I have moving forward. If I was looking for a 1970s hockey pack, I'm not going to worry about it because there's lots of them out there, and there's nothing. You're not really pulling anything out of there that's all too valuable. But I just wonder how it's going to impact people moving forward buying stuff. The other things, I'm with you. I don't think that it is as ubiquitous as some people might want you to believe. So, okay. By the way, I love this. Like I said, I have one. The other thing I like about this particular pack is that it's in the old PSA pack slab, which is, in my opinion, the far better one than the newer one. So I love that about it. Brian, have you noticed the difference? You've seen what they've done?
I definitely have seen what they've done. I feel like they've gone through a couple different iterations. I know people on both sides of the fence. Some love the old style. Some like the new style. A lot of people don't like that they don't play nice together all the time when they're stacking and storing. But I don't personally have a preference. I just like the packs to be safe and secure.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly, unless you have a 30 pack collection and 30 of them are in the old holder, and now you want to get another pack and it's the one that looks different. But otherwise, I'm with you. Okay, Baseball Centennial Hall of Fame cut signature collection of 10 framed. This includes Babe Ruth, Walter Johnson, Honus Wagner, Cy Young, and Map Lajoie. Brian, let's have a bigger look at this. Oh, wow, look at this. This is an incredible piece. You've got all the players here in a photograph, and then some of them you're getting more than just an autograph, but what a nice piece that somebody's curated. There's Babe Ruth at the bottom. Tell us about where'd this come from, Brian?
Yeah, so this was a project that a collector put together. I think he did a nice job displaying it. As you can see here, it's 10 different cut signatures, handwritten pieces, framed with that iconic photo from that first induction ceremony, and then the Centennial Baseball patch, 1939, coincided with that induction ceremony. So this is just a great opportunity to get 10 legends all in one place, have the work done for you already from a presentation perspective. And I think it's neat. If you were to buy these all on their own, it would cost you a pretty penny. And here's an opportunity to have them all done and set in one place.
No bid yet, and the opening bid is $10,000. So the Babe Ruth itself has to be around there, no?
Well, you're certainly getting a fair chunk of the value already with the Ruth. I don't know that it would make up the whole 10,000 on its own. That's not a huge cut, but you're certainly getting, in our opinion, in excess of $10,000 of value. So I suspect that this will open over the next 72 hours. Not super worried about it, but definitely worth showing off.
All right, will be fun to watch along. Next up is an extremely rare signed 1944, 1945 Albert Type 1 black and white Hall of Fame postcard of Eddie Collins, signed, a PSA 8 on the card, and an authentic autograph on the autograph here. Brian, $23,000 right now. It's in a big slab. Is this the whole piece, or is it the background as well?
Yeah, so this white tan postcard is actually mounted to a piece of black construction paper. So usually you would see these in the PSA postcard holder. This one's the exception. So going back to our continuity discussion, somebody's going to be pretty bummed that this is in the big holder, but they won't be bummed because Eddie Collins on this Albert type postcard is one of the rarest examples out there. Kind of continuing with our conversation about the Hall of Fame exhibit with Alexander earlier. These were a great medium for autograph collectors. There's a handful of players, a couple of which that are represented in this auction, who are near impossible to find on these cards. So this Eddie Collins is already over $20,000. Hugh Duffy in this auction is already over $20,000. But then you go down the line and you have guys like Ray Schalk, who signed for many years after his postcard was issued, and he's selling for hundreds of dollars. So it's a great challenge for collectors that want to collect them all, but it's a great opportunity to get some very attractive signatures of longer living Hall of Famers as well, if you're not interested in putting together the whole set.
Yeah, it's a neat piece. If it were me, I'd be tempted to open this thing up, cut that out, and then resubmit it for a smaller holder. Jacob Dahl, welcome to the show. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. All right, next up, Brian, we have, this one must be for me. The 1933 O-Pee-Chee set, complete, 48 cards, known as the V304A. And this was the first major hockey card set in 9 years, I would think. We had the 23 and the 1923 and the 1924 Patterson sets. And then there's some smaller sets that I don't think get as much attention until 1933, when O-Pee-Chee and a couple other companies came onto the scene and produced their own sets of cards. And this 33 O-Pee-Chee set contains the Eddie Shore rookie card, probably one of the most important pre-war rookies in all of hockey. Is this one on the far right, card number 3, grades out in a PSA 3. But on the other end, you have Howie Morenz in a PSA 1.5. He's often referred to as the first superstar of hockey, Howie Morenz. His rookie is about 10 years earlier, but this is still a highly desirable card. Something else that's interesting about these, Brian, is that each player comes in 4 different colors, and no one color, I don't think, is rarer than the other. Some may be harder to find, but I don't know if there were any production differences. If you look at this image here, you can see all 4 colors represented: the green, the red, the blue, and the orange. And I think these are just awesome cards. I've owned several. I own a couple right now. How do you feel, Brian? What do you think about the 1933 O-Pee-Chee hockey set?
Well, you did a heck of a job leading into this. And I mean, I agree with a lot of what you said. Obviously, O-Pee-Chee came onto the scene in the 30s. We know what they were doing in the baseball world with Goudey and O-Pee-Chee cards during that time. And in hockey, they made a series of sets. You'll have O-Pee-Chee A, B, and C, I believe. And I just think they're great. I think they're visually appealing. I like them in the different colors. If you want to collect them all in one color, that's an extra layer of challenge. But there's some great star power represented in these sets. They're not easy to put together, and it's not often that you see them in any condition as a full set. So this is one. There's a couple old hockey sets in this auction, but this is one that we were really proud and excited to get in, because I can't tell you the last time we had one, or anybody had one for that matter. They're just very tough to put together.
Yeah, and it's the kind of set too that people who are working on it, they're not quick to let them go. They work hard for a long time to put them together. Texas Rangers PC says, man, I know nothing about the set, but it looks awesome. Yeah. It certainly does. David G says this is the OG variation chase cards. Yeah, it's a good point, because they were available in the different colors. I'm personally partial to the reds, followed by the blues, then the greens, then the oranges. Just me. And the card I have is I have the Eddie Shore in the blue, and I love it. And I've had it for, man, I might have bought it off you guys 15 years ago. I'd have to think about that.
Yeah, no, those reds pop for sure.
They do. $3,400 for the complete set at this time, everybody. All right, next card is a big hockey card. This is the 1966 Topps Bobby Orr rookie card. This is the true rookie. I say that because he does also have the US test version, which I think the hobby considers a true rookie too. But this is, for me, when I was interested in purchasing my Bobby Orr rookie card for my collection, Brian, this is the one I wanted. I personally did not have interest in the test version. It's a cool card. It's neat. It's a little obscure, but I liked this. It's the mainstream, and it's the one I grew up lusting for. This is a PSA 8, guys. And let's just take a quick look, Brian. Jump in if you have anything to add, or to jump in with. Very nice copy, slightly off center to the right, but that's maybe why it is not in a PSA 9 holder. Otherwise, the color is beautiful. The edges and the corners are very, very nice. Going to take a quick look at the back. Everything is good here on the back. I don't see anything that stands out to me. Great color, good focus. Wow, it's a great copy, Brian. Like, this is a really nice copy. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. And I mean, I think to your earlier point, a lot of people do like the traditional mainstream Topps version. You know, that's not to take anything away from the USA test. We had a PSA 9 in a previous auction that sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. But most people are familiar with the Topps mainstream. This is a very nice example. You and I have talked about this over the years, where there can be fisheyes and registration issues and different, boldness of the wood grain and toning on the back. This one's pretty dialed in, no matter how you slice it.
It's a beauty, absolutely. I forget what the population is on this, but I think it's like 42 or 43, and there's maybe 2 9s or 185 and 1 9. Like, this is a hard card hard if not impossible to improve upon. So yeah, $35,000 right now. True Card Adventure says, saw lots of ores of the National. Not sure I saw one this good. I doubt you would have, Corey. I really doubt you would have. It's a tough card. Okay, more hockey. All right. 1979 Topps Hockey complete set, uncut sheets. 2 sheets does it. Includes the Wayne Gretzky. Okay, I'm going to just open this up. Here it all. We're looking at everything here. You have the one sheet on the left and the second sheet on the right. I'm going to show you guys where Gretzky is. But I like the left-hand sheet is nice because it's all single-player cards. On the right side, you've got single-player cards in the top half, but in the bottom, you've got some of the like record breakers or league leader cards, and then you have the team portraits here. You have 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I'm counting 17 team portraits here. Those are pretty cool, Brian. When I was a kid collecting this set, literally in 1980 and 81, I liked the team portraits, the team portrait images. These ones over here, I just thought they were fun. But Gretzky is up over here and then near the top right, second row, fourth from the right. You have the Wayne Gretzky rookie card. You also have a couple other important final cards. You have the Bobby Hull final card right here, and you have the Gordie Howe final card right over here. So those are the 3 kind of key cards of the set: the Howe, the Hull, and of course the Gretzky rookie. Brian, what can you tell us about where this might have come from?
So this to the best of my knowledge, just came from a collector that had it for many years. I love these uncut sheets for display purposes. I think how cool to have the complete set in its very original form, especially with a card like the Gretzky rookie that is so important. And it's not going to break the bank. I mean, if you think about what this card would sell for on its own, and then you get the rest of the set on the sheets as well. You know, here we're under $1,000. So I think it's just represents a great companion piece to anybody that likes Gretzky or likes that 79 top set without breaking the bank. This is a pretty cool thing to add to your collection.
Definitely nice. Very cool. All right. Lot number 2744 is a 1963 Parkhurst complete set, number 5 on the set registry, with a grade point average of 9.13, includes 20 gem mint 10s. This is crazy. I didn't look at this before, and this is crazy. The key card is this Gordie Howe in the middle in his Detroit Red Wings uniform against the U.S. flag. You have Terry Sawchuk behind him, another key card, the Hall of Fame goaltender, also against the USA flag. And I used to be curious, Brian. I'd think to myself, well, Gordie Howe is Canadian. Why do they have him in front of the American flag? Well, I learned to discover it's because he played for a team based out of the United States. And then you look over at Alan Stanley here, plays for the Toronto Maple Leafs, obviously Canadian team, but looks like he's up against a British flag. And I thought, well, why isn't he up against a Canadian flag? And one of the reasons why I discovered, I don't remember the exact explanation, but something like this set predates the Canadian flag becoming the Canadian flag. And this was the actual Canadian flag at that time as a British colony. So that's my understanding of the design of this set, Brian. It's one of the more popular 1960 Parkhurst sets, if not the nicest 60s Parkhurst set. And I'm not including the 50s in that. I'm specifically talking about the 60s because the 50s, I think, were a whole different beast. But this is a great set. I'm going to just scroll through, take a look at some of the other. Here's some of the other cards. You can see there's different designs. You got the players against the flags. You've got the second row here where you've got Maurice Richard and Jean Beliveau in the middle, the John Ferguson rookie right over here. Just a wonderful set design-wise. And look in the bottom right corner here at the Cesar Maniago rookie. It's portrait style, or landscape style, I should say. The one sideways card over there. Sorry, Brian, I'm just really excited about this. Okay, so those are all the images. What do we have? What do we say it was? How many cards in the set? 99 cards in the set. What do you want to sorry, I went on there, Brian. What do you want to tell us about this?
No, I mean, it's worthy of all that excitement and more. I mean, I agree with you. This is, when I think of 60s hockey, this is a set that immediately jumps to mind for me. I love the design. I love the players with the flags. I love that kind of neon backgrounds that we saw on that second page. I think it's just very visually appealing. And I think in high grade, they're just stunning. This set averages better than 9 across the board. 20 gem mint 10s. Obviously, a tremendous amount of time, effort, and energy went into assembling this set. The star power in these hockey sets is amazing. You've got all the greats. And, this is like an instant top 5 collection for somebody. So I think that it's gotten a lot of play already. I think it'll continue to get a lot of bids over the last 72 hours of the auction. And I think it's worth every penny. I think it's a beautiful, well put together set with a lot of highlights.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to just point out that this Gordie Howe card, I don't know how it's only a 9. I mean, it's slightly off center to the left, but the corners and edges are as sharp as can be. And early 60s Parkhurst cards are like high condition, isn't as rare as you might think. And you can find your 7s and your 8s, but a 9 this nice is absolutely incredible. And I want to thank Mike Double V says that the Canadian flag was officially adopted in February of 1965, and these cards would have come out in 1964. So that explains why you see this different sort of Canadian flag behind the players playing on Canadian teams, being Montreal and Toronto exclusively. Actually, yes, Orlando, I am loving this auction. All right, what's next? This says, oh, look at this. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor's rookie card, 1969 tops. It is a tall boy. This is graded a PSA 5 with an authentic autograph assessment certification by PSA DNA. But this isn't just an autograph. This comes with a novel, Brian. Look at all these inscriptions on this card. What is going on here?
I mean, this basically is Kareem telling you what makes him one of the greats. He didn't leave any stone unturned. And I think, as you and I just came back from the National, I took a peek at what some of these guys were charging for not just signatures, but inscriptions and Hall of Fame notations. I mean, they know that they can add a pretty penny to those in-person signings for collectors. So Kareem, you've got 7 different inscriptions here. You've got his Rookie of the Year. You've got his Hall of Fame. You've got his All-Stars, MVPs, his championships, his points. It's pretty incredible. And I think the full name signature, it's got a lot going on, but I can't remember seeing many like it, which I think will appeal to a lot of collectors. Plus, as a card grade of 5, it's a very nice looking example. So I think this is one that's got a lot of people excited. It's already got 22 bids.
$2,100 is the current bid, 22 bids. The next bid is for $2,200. The card itself looks really nice to me too. Like, of course, we're looking in 2 dimensions on a screen, which does limit the ability to truly assess the condition of a card here from our own home. But this like it looks really nice. Yeah, it's off center a bit to the left. It's easy to tell where the oval kind of comes out as far as it does to the right and the left, but the corners and the edges look really nice on this card, Brian. And the image, the registration's perfect.
Yeah, no, somebody's going to be very happy with this.
Very nice piece. Okay, so let's see. I think that was the items that that you guys wanted to look at with me today. But what I did is a bit of a quick bonus is I'm going to show you guys my watch list on the auction. This is my personal watch list. These are the cards that I'm watching for whatever reason. Maybe I might place a bid somewhere. Maybe I'm just curious what's going on. Maybe I already own a Joe DiMaggio and a PSA 3 from 48 Leaf, and I just want to see what this one sells for. But either way, these are the cards that I have on my personal watch list. After the National, Brian, the 48 Leaf Stan Musial has really jumped to close to the top of my want list. I love this card. We're going to take a quick look at it. It's an SGC 3. It looks really good for a 3. The only thing I can see that, would distract me at all is kind of this ink bleed on the left edge here. Is that common on 48-49 Leaf cards?
Yeah, I mean, the Leaf set is just known for a lot of quality control issues. So you see bleeding, you see wrong backs, you see overprints, you see stuff like that going on. So it is certainly not unheard of. And, it's kind of like the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. This blue background on this particular example struck me as pretty deep and bold. So I could look past it, but it might not be for everybody.
No, that's the thing. I looked at some of these at the National. I saw some of them at the REA booth at the National. The blue is absolutely outstanding on this copy. It comes in a lot of different shades. The black name bar behind Stan Musial is a beautiful, striking example. The yellow bat, the red cap and detail on the jersey. It's an amazing copy. This would sit very happily in my collection. I love it. I love the card. And even the 49 Bowman Musial is another beauty, which is a deep purple background. It's fun to, when you look at your cards and you're playing with your cards, maybe you have one with a red background, a yellow, an orange, a green, a blue, a purple. You line them up, you got a rainbow. I know it's silly, but that's what us cardboard nerds like to do sometimes. I love it. So now you have a bit of insight into some of the cards I'm watching. In the Larry Doby 49 Bowman. Okay, couple quick questions before we wrap up, Brian. First, there's been a lot of talk lately, especially since the book Relief came out, which goes through, why 48 Leaf cards might actually be 49 Leaf cards. What do you know about that? Do you believe that they are wrongly understood and labeled by grading companies as 1948?
I'm familiar with the book by name. I haven't read it yet. I do understand that there's been some research done. I think that obviously anything that's done to correct information in the hobby is good. I remember being asked if I thought it would affect the values. My short answer was no, I don't. So I don't know well enough as to the research that's been done to make a distinction or determination as to what the right year is. But I think regardless of the year, they're special cards. It's a great set, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, and I think even with the release of the book and the research, it's going to be really hard to get the hobby to stop referring to this as 48 Leaf, as much as some purists may be trying to do that. I don't know that it's really ever going to change in our vernacular, but hey, time will tell. A couple of questions that came in, Brian. Vintage Card Collector says, Brian, can you share your thoughts on the Goodwin Cap Anson? What is demand like for 1800s, for cards from the 1800s?
So the Goodwin Cap Anson, I mean, I don't know if you're going to pull it up or not, but it's probably one of my favorite cards from the 19th century. I think the artwork on it is exceptional. I think the set as a whole is exceptional. We've got so that's the Allen and Ginter. The Goodwin is the blue shirt one. We've got a PSA 6 in this auction, which obviously Jeremy just pulled up. Unheard of in that high grade. So what is demand like? I think that 19th century has always been something that has maybe been intimidating to collectors to tackle whole sets. You know, you can't theoretically put together a complete set of old Judges easily, and you can't, you know, putting together a complete Mayo set is very difficult. Allen and Ginters and Goodwins have always been a little bit more achievable and attainable, but collectors love the big names from any sets and any years, and this Anson fits all the marks. So I love the card. I actually do have one. I was gonna say I'd love to have one, but now that I think about it, I have an SGC 1.5 in my collection. So
I've never owned one. I would like to get one day. Orlando says Goodwin cards are beautiful. Anson is probably the best 19th century card ever produced. Do you concur, Brian?
I think it's up there. I mean, I think that the Anson from that set and the Tim Keefe, I don't know if we have a Keefe in this auction, but those two are just works of art.
Wesley Collect says, I love this auction. And a collector's dream says, I interviewed a collector who opened leaf packs and kept a diary. They were produced in 1949, distributed in April of 1949. Well, Orlando, that's great information. If PSA changes how they label them, that's the only way that we're going to move the market, I think, to widely accept that. All right, well, guys, check out the auction, collectrea.com. You can register and bid on these items we looked at today and over 3,200 other ones. Amazing stuff overall, Brian. Found treasures. What's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. And just to look at kind of the top 8 lots of the auction right there. And you can see, as always, but guys, keep in mind, this isn't only an auction for people that can afford 5- and 6-figure cards. Brian, who is REA for?
We're really for collectors, right? And the collectors at some point are spending hundreds of dollars, and at other points they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. And there's items in this auction that started at $50. There's items in this auction that started at $50,000. So I think that people will be impressed with the breadth of the auction. I think people will be impressed with what they can learn just from looking at the auction. And I encourage people to go spend some time on the website. Like you said, collectrea.com. If you're not on our mailing list and you want to get a free catalog sent to you, we'll mail you one out. It won't arrive necessarily before the auction ends, but they're great resources and reference material and coffee table books. So we're for everybody. We've got a lot of great stuff from all parts of the hobby.
All right. Well, Brian, thank you. Thank you, Vintage Card Collector. Orlando met you at the National. He says REA Marketplace is a great place to consign. Thank you, Orlando, for joining us. This auction ends on Sunday, guys. That is 4 days from now. You have time to review the auction, add items to your watch list, take some time to decide, do your budgeting, figure out which ones you want, place your bids, and good luck adding some fine pieces to your collection. Brian, thank you for doing this with me again. I appreciate it. Any final words before we go?
No, that's it. I appreciate your interest as always. Love going through the stuff, and sign up to bid. There's plenty of time left. I'm looking forward to seeing what people pick up from this auction. There's a lot of great stuff.
As am I, guys. Brian, hang tight. Give me about 15 seconds. Let the outro play. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and good luck on REA. We'll see you back again next time on the REA live show here on Sports Cards Live for their next catalog auction. And with that, good night, everybody. Have a great rest of your week and weekend ahead.
Thanks for tuning in and being a part of the Sports Cards Live community. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and most of all, keep collecting. More great content to come. Sports Cards is a lifestyle.